Hey guys, welcome to my video. Today's topic is called How the Coronavirus Changed My Life. So before the coronavirus shut down, I remember having this conversation with an old friend of mine and how I told him, this is just a little virus. It's gonna pass. It's a bunch of bullshit. Everyone's overreacting, buying toilet paper and water bottles. Like, come on. It's a little virus. It's gonna pass. And then he said, Raymond. And I remember he got mad at me and he's like, Raymond, people are dying. Whether you think it's a conspiracy or you think it's this or X, Y, and Z, the reality is people are dying. And I remember he got upset with me and we didn't talk for a few days. And then during those few days, Governor Newsom declared a statewide shelter in place. And then I remember calling him afterwards and saying, hey, dude, I'm sorry. Like, I thought this was just a little virus, you know? But now I'm taking it more seriously because in my 23 years of life, I have never seen a school shut down until this year. So, we made amends. We made peace. Yay! Yeah, we made peace. So then when the whole quarantine started, I remember the first few weeks, I did a bunch of small, odd jobs that just needed to be done around the house that I would say I was too busy for when I was working. But then in reality, yeah, those jobs got done. Yay. Those jobs got done. But I wasn't doing it to get them out of the way. I was doing it because I was afraid of looking into my shadow. And my shadow is pretty much all of my negative beliefs, my limiting beliefs, my traumas, past experiences from my childhood that I just didn't want to come to terms with. So then flash forward to June, I was just overwhelmed with so much anxiety. I kept seeing death here, death there. The number of deaths for the coronavirus keeps going up and up. And I just remember I had a nice conversation in the mirror with myself and I said, Raymond, what are you doing to better your life? Like, yes, the media is going to say this and it's going to say that, but what are you doing on a daily basis that's going to help change your life in a positive life, in a light? And by that time, I was already reading these personal development books, and I was doing my journals, and I was doing my meditations. But here's the thing. I would do that with the aid of weed. I would get high, and I would read. I would get high, and I would meditate. Meditate. I would most likely fall asleep during the meditation. But yeah, I wasn't really doing anything to actually be in a better situation. So then I remember on Father's Day, I just felt so overwhelmed with all these different emotions, the anxiety, the fear, the trauma, all that just started stirring up in me. And I said, you know what? I've had enough. I need to speak to a therapist. And what better time to take advantage of it than now that I'm not doing anything. I'm getting a little bit of extra money that I wouldn't normally have from my 9 to 6 job. So let's actually invest that in ourselves. Let's go work on our mental health. So I remember I looked up therapists near me, and I went through a lot, a handful. I went through a lot. I read their bios, what they specialized in, and yet none of them resonated with me, and that's totally fine, because when I found my therapist that I'm working with now, I remember reading her bio, and I just remember telling myself, is this my therapist that I'm supposed to work with? And then I just got flooded with all these waterworks that I was just releasing, and that was my confirmation saying, yes, that is who you are meant to work with. So I remember I sent her an email inquiring about possibly meeting with her. And at first I kept telling myself, no, this whole coronavirus, it's not gonna happen. Like, her office is closed. No, it's not gonna happen. And then I remember she responded within 1 hour. 1 hour saying, hey Raymond, thanks for inquiring about the information. How does next Saturday at 10 a.m. work for you? I was mind blown. Like, mind blown. I was like, holy crap, like, this is just a confirmation of what... This is a confirmation that, yes, I'm on the right path. So, long story short, I met with her that next Saturday. She asked questions. I opened up to her. And I kept thinking, you know what? Yeah, this is definitely where I need to be right now. In my point in time, this is where I need to be. And I opened up to her. Sorry, I get a little emotional still. But yeah, I opened up to her. And let me tell you, these past 2 months of meeting with her, at first it was a every weekend basis thing. Now it's like a every other week, every 3 weeks, just like a little check-in. But yeah, the coronavirus, it brought in these... It's correction. The coronavirus, everyone thinks that the coronavirus brought these fears with it, when in reality, we brought the fears into the coronavirus. We brought the fears into the quarantine. Those fears were already there. We were just distracting ourselves by going to the mall, hanging with friends, going to the bar, having a nightlife. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but we were running from ourselves. So then when this whole quarantine, when this whole shelter in place began, we had nowhere to run to. We were forced to see ourselves in the truest light. Whether that be good or bad, we were forced to see ourselves for who we were. Yes, technology is here where we can FaceTime or we can video call our friends. There's nothing wrong with it. It's perfectly fine. But I know a lot of people are extroverts who want to be around a whole social place. So when you took that equation out, you were left with yourself. You were left with seeing yourself for your authentic self. And I remember this is something I struggled with for 3 months until I actually started going and seeking the help that I needed. And yeah, so, I started going to therapy. I started processing all these issues from my childhood. And then I realized, you know what? This isn't just me. This isn't about me. These were generational traumas, limiting beliefs, learned behaviors, negative habits. Those were all generational. Well, not all of them, but majority of them were generational habits that were passed down from generation to generation to generation. And that's when I came to terms with myself and I said, you know what? Fuck that. I am not being my parents in the sense of they didn't know better, but they didn't seek any help. I'm not going to be like that. I'm putting an end to it. I am not going to get frustrated and give up. I am not going to say, oh, well, your life is easier because my dad did X, Y, and Z, and I only did A, B, and C. No, we're not doing that. Not in this lifetime. I'm ending that with my family now. That is why I am put on this earth, is to help myself and to help others overcome those generational traumas, learn behaviors, negative habits, and limiting beliefs that were placed on you by your previous generations. And that's what I had to go to therapy for. So now when I actually talk to some of my friends who check in, and I recommend, hey, have you ever thought of therapy? And then some of them tell me yes, some of them tell me no, and I ask them the same question. Oh, well, why haven't you started? And here is the most frequently answered um the most frequently answered response that I get is, oh, because I'm afraid that they're not going to believe me, or I'm afraid that they're going to think I'm crazy. Well, let me break this down to you. Therapy is not a power struggle. It's not your therapist is going to say, you need to do X, Y, and Z. No, because a good therapist is going to sit beside you, and they're just going to be there to not push, but to just go with you in order to process those experiences you've had. So if you want to run, they're going to run with you. If you want to walk, they're going to walk with you. If you want to stop and process an issue, they're going to stop and process the issue with you. That's what therapy is. So I would highly, highly recommend, seeking a professional. If you've been thinking about it, if you've been thinking about it and you just needed a confirmation that this is the time to do it, if you feel compelled after this video to go and, start seeking out a therapist, by all means, please do so. Because the only person you're hurting is yourself by not going. And everyone is at their own pace, at their own time. But just think about it like this. I'm X years old, and I've had X amount of years with whatever I'm carrying. I don't want to call it baggage because it's not baggage. Those are experiences that happen to you, whether good or bad. Those are experiences that happen to you, and you're carrying those with you. And to me, the way I see it is, you're X years old, you have X amount of years with that experience that you're carrying with you. How much longer are you going to carry that with you? And that's something I ask myself all the time before I went to therapy. I remember I kept trying to talk myself out of it. No, I don't need to go to therapy. No, I don't need it. No, I'm not crazy. No, I'm not this. I'm not that. And in reality, my higher self stopped me. It stopped me in a gentle way and said, Raymond, you're 23 years old. You're 23 years old. And your darkest place was when you were 12. So now you have 11 years with that experience that you're taking with you. How much longer do you want to take? How many more years do you want to sentence yourself with by carrying those experiences rather than speaking to a professional, working it out? That pain, that experience is never going to go away. It's going to be in your memory. But that experience does not need to have power over you anymore. And that's what I kept telling myself. And that's when I decided, you know what? It's time to go to therapy. It's time to speak to a professional so that way I can move forward in my next chapter of life. So yes, this whole coronavirus, it's a blessing in disguise, honestly. And I say it's a blessing in disguise because it forced myself to look at myself in the authentic light, to see myself for who I really was at that time, and now I'm able to see who I am now. And I have been able to see tremendous growth. So yes, it's a blessing in disguise. Yes, there have been a lot of people who have lost family members and loved ones and friends, and that's unfortunate, and my heart goes out to you. But there's always good in some kind of situation that's going on anywhere in the world, at any time, any place. There is a lesson to be learned. So what lesson is this going to give you?